666 refers to the Emperor Nero. Why?
Emperor Nero was despised for persecuting Christians. In his Circus Neronius.
Neronius.
Yeah. The circus stood here and was a place for chariot races, games, but he also used it then for persecuting Christians. In 64, there was a major fire in Rome. Nero wound up blaming Christians, and he executed them in great numbers right here in this circus.
China are facing an alarming escalation of persecution. This week, Public Security Bureau police invaded and shut down Zion Church in Beijing. Moments before that raid, this sign appeared just outside the church sanctuary. Now it looks like this. PSB agents removed the sign.
Bibles forcing Christians to renounce their faith. This persecution, just the latest attempt by Beijing to crack down on all religion. In August, the United Nations said China could be holding more than 1 million Uyghurs and other Muslims in internment camps for, quote, political education.
Imagine a government official coming to your house, giving you a piece of paper and saying, deny Jesus Christ and say that I'm God instead.
Yeah, because then what's next? Are they going to take the toll that the radical Islamists have done, where they do the same things with Christian missionaries and Christian, like Boko Haram has done with Christians in Nigeria, where they say, deny Jesus Christ or we behead you and your family? I mean, the communist regime hasn't gone that far yet, but I'm afraid that this is a very dangerous, slippery slope. And like you mentioned, I think oftentimes, specifically because our electronics and our clothes and lots of other things, entertainment even, Hollywood nowadays makes so many movies for the Chinese market because people there love Hollywood and entertainment and our music and our shows, right? But these are people that, despite the fact that they have iPhones and are making iPhones, are not able to use things like Google and Facebook. And now you are seeing a further crackdown on their religious liberties.
And as you mentioned, we're seeing unbelievable persecution of Christians, crosses being torn down, Bibles being burned. These are, as Jillian said, Mao-like era policies. In fact, Human Rights Watch just came out with a report today talking about persecution of Uyghurs in Xinjiang, and they said that the types of policies that we are seeing with over 1 million people in these political, prison camps or re-education camps, this is really reminiscent of human rights abuses we were seeing during the Cultural Revolution.
Also this summer, other Christians throughout China have seen their churches closed or demolished. Government officials have arrested church leaders, they've confiscated and burned Bibles, and they're still removing crosses from atop church buildings. What in the world is going on in China, and why now?
This church was totally destroyed, you can tell. Pastors were being arrested, and the prayer meeting were being raided, and even sentenced, 13 years, 10 years.
With the Uyghur situation, I think what's really telling is when persecution has happened in the past, we haven't heard about it because people are afraid of what's going to happen to their families. Here, their entire families are being shipped off to these camps. So the fact that they're speaking out is pretty telling.
That's something I talk about all the time, that when the government gives you something, they've bought you essentially. They have power over your life because all they have to do is threaten to take that away if you don't accept some other dictate from them. We see that happening right before our eyes in China.